The off-season is finally here, and I'll be putting out these pocket mini-sized videos about all of the big free agency and trade moves that are done. So make sure you are clicking that subscribe button, the like button, getting more people in watching all of those fantastic things. But we have the first move that I think is worthy of a video here, which is Jack Silvani and Tom De Koning are now St. Kilda players, or will be, because they're not going to accept the trade. Now, at the time of recording, we haven't got the compensations yet. My prediction, for what it's worth, is Tom De Koning, the same as my mock draft, is Tom De Koning is going to garner pick 9. It'll be pick 8, but the Oscar Allen one hasn't gone through yet at the time of recording, and Silvani will be pick 18, which will become 19, which will become 20 with Oscar Allen, and I think may stay there and Draper will become after that, but that seems way too complicated. Anyway, they're both at St. Kilda. We're going to talk about the two players, we're going to talk about what it means for St. Kilda, and then we're going to talk about what it means for Carlton as quickly as we can. Now, for Tom De Koning, I've had the pleasure of meeting Tom a couple of times, one in an interview setting and one just in a relaxed sort of setting, and what I noticed about him in terms of the differences between what I've experienced between him as a person and the way that he played his footy this year is between the ears, he seems like just a relaxed guy. He's always got a smile on his face. He gave us a lot of time for the interview that we did down at Pearsdale Footy Oval for the radio station that I was working at the time, and it just didn't look like he was that happy, bubbly self. I think the contract at St. Kilda was playing on his mind a lot, and that sort of slowed him down as the season went on. He was the All-Australian ruckman in the first month of footy. Now, does that mean that that's garnering the contract? We're going to talk about that in the St. Kilda bit. But him as a player is going to be their number one ruckman. If Rowan Marshall stays, which again at the time of recording he still is there, Marshall goes from a top, say, 6 to 8 ruckman in the competition to easily the number one second ruckman in the competition. Marshall was also drafted as a centre-half forward, so I don't see this as the disastrous move that most do outside of the finances, and even then I don't think it's a disaster. Spoiler alert for later on. But he's going to slot in there and hopefully play his best footy for the duration of the contract. In terms of Jack, who of course has struggled to get on the field, has struggled to hold down a position, and that was more Carlton's fault than his own, I believe. Hopefully St. Kilda is a part of the pitch. I've got the contract, obviously, but I've also promised him a position which hopefully was similar to the one that he played for the majority of the year before he got hurt, which was your third defender behind the ball. His hybrid defending type, or what we think he can be if he's able to do it for a consistent period of time, is coming in vogue in this sort of evolution of the game, I suppose. You look at a draftee like Xavier Taylor, for example, at that 191 centimetres, good in the air, good on the ground, good distributor. Jack can do those sorts of things. Now, I don't think he's an A-grade kicker, for example, but I think he can minimise the mistakes by foot. I really do. Considering the Saints have already got Cal Wilkie, they upped their offer, they're keeping him, so a tick across the board there. If Jack is able to get behind Wilkie, get behind Taru, and they've still got Dougal Howard on the list, then you are looking at a guy that is going to hopefully bring out the best footy in him. Health is going to be the biggest question, but he's going to be able to play on a lesser quality opponent than maybe he had to do at Carlton at times. And like I said, with good consistent luck, with health, and then consistency of performance to his body, hopefully they are going to shine. For the Saints, of course, most people are going to look at it and go, you're spending $2.5 million combined on these guys over the average of their contract. $2 million for Nazai Wanganeen Miller. Could be another $900,000 on Sam Flanders, but that's for a Sam Flanders video if one comes up, because he could still go to Melbourne. But I don't really understand the big deal here. Number one, it's not like we, as in footy fans, have to pay the bill anyway. And number two, it's not a financial disaster until it becomes one. Like, it's not here. Now, I understand that they're paying a lot of coin for two unproven assets. I understand that. But clearly St. Kilda have to overpay to get talent in the door. They need talent in the door. They won 9 games last year with a heavily injured list. Max King's pretty much going to be a new recruit, which they are hopefully going to get good results from. So the fact that you're going to be able to plug King, Marshall in a new position, you're going to get another number one ruckman in, you're going to get another piece of defensive help. You've got Wilkie, you've kept Naz. Like, there's nothing wrong with what they've done here. Like, you've got basically 4 options in an off-season for any team. You can sort of stick to the course, keep your list largely the way it is, and hope for internal development. And that's not working for the Saints, as we know. 9 wins last year without these moves, and we don't know, of course, who's gone yet, but at the point of recording, the time of recording, they are a better side than they were yesterday. That has to be a tick. Now, as circumstances change, if it does become a shit show, that's the time to react to it. And of course, I'm not going to stop anyone from making a prediction. But it doesn't make sense now to go, they are a better team than they were yesterday, so let's give them shit for it. It just doesn't fly with me. It doesn't make any sense. They splurged, they spent money, they got better players in, they are better than they were yesterday, which means you have to tick off on it. Now, again, yes, there is a gamble involved. If you do the splurge and you don't get better, it's an abject disaster. But if you've got that on the table, if that's a spot on a bingo card, if it's on the horizon that it could be a shit show, it also could be a resounding success. Or, of course, they could have done nothing and stayed where they are, which is not great, or stayed where they are and got better, which would have taken longer. Like, sure, this could end up being a -3 out of 10. It could end up being an 8, 9, or 10 out of 10. If they don't do these moves, I think it only gets to like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 in terms of quality. So what they've done, St. Kilda here, I don't think is anywhere close to a bad thing right now. They don't need to win the flag next year in order for this to be a success. They have to be better than this year, and then they have to attack another off-season, and then you have to start going, right, you've had a year, you've topped up again. Filippo will hopefully have, at that point, 2 seasons from now, will hopefully have another 25 games under his belt or 22 games under his belt. Hopefully you've got more games into Darcy Wilson. Hopefully you've got more games into Taru and Travalia and these guys. So your list is hopefully going to be in a better position, and then you launch from there. So St. Kilda, tick from me. Absolutely. And then we'll end it with Carlton. They're going to want to trade that first pick in order to get points for Harry Dean. Otherwise, it's just going to get absorbed, which is what Essendon did to get the points for Isaac Kako. It's exactly the same scenario in a perfect world, because I think Essendon will have the means to do it. West Coast could have the means to do it, but both of those have got to pay for more academy guys, and I think both of them might also target Gold Coast's pick 6, which of course will become pick 8 after the Allen and TDK band compensations come in. But I think the club that should do it is North Melbourne, and I'm pretty sure the points would be right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Should trade both of their second rounders to Carlton and draft Xavier Taylor or Aiden Schubert. I think that would be the best port of call. I could see GWS trying to trade up for that pick potentially. We will wait and see, but overall it's going to be interesting to see what the Blues do there. With the Silvani pick, again, that pick I think will just be a part of the Harry Dean package. Again, unless you can trade out of it for a team that wants to pay up for it, which I don't really think there are a lot of options for. Like North could do one of their second rounders and pick 39, which I think will become like 42 or 43. So what does the point situation look like there? I don't have the index in front of me, but overall, Carlton would suck to lose them, but their optimism would say we're getting rid of an injury-riddled player and we're getting rid of a guy that we just couldn't afford. We're going to get Liam Reedy in on a discount. We're going to get the points for Dean and something extra. We're going to get the pick in for Silvani. Like, Carlton of the two clubs are worse off, but I don't think, again, it's not a dumpster fire. We'll see how they go. But at this point in time, Carlton are a little bit worse, but we can see the logic. St. Kilda got better, and I can see the logic. I feel like I'm one of only a select few who do. And hopefully we can see the best of De Koning and Silvani moving forward. So that's kind of how these videos are going to work, guys. So like the video if you like the video, subscribe to join the Daz Talks Footy family. I'll have plenty more on the horizon, so make sure you stick around and watch those. I appreciate you watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.